An interesting conclusion about light and sound. The previous arguments, I hope, have shown that the conscious light, CL, and conscious sound, CS, are not in the physical mind, PM. So the conscious experience of these things must be manufactured somewhere in the intermind, IM, to conscious mind, CM, segment of the intermind model, IMM. But even if someday the conscious light and conscious sound are actually found to be in the neurons or physical mind, emerge from the neurons, it is still true that they are inside us and part of what we are. We detect the external world using our internal conscious light and conscious sound. This conscious light and conscious sound are types of data that our internal conscious minds use to navigate around in external physical space, PSP. In fact, it is not known what the conscious light and conscious sound actually are. We each might create our own conscious light and conscious sound through processes in the intermind and conscious mind that science does not understand yet. But it could be the case that our conscious minds simply use the conscious light and conscious sound that has always existed in conscious space, CSP. We can then say that the conscious light and conscious sound are separate from our conscious minds. But when we use that conscious light or conscious sound, we must bring it into our conscious minds where it becomes an acquired part of what we are. If that conscious light and conscious sound are created or acquired internal to us, then we can only conclude that we are that conscious light and conscious sound. I can say that I am my light and I am my sound with the same validity as I can say that I am my arm and I am my leg. It would seem that we are beings of light and beings of sound. This is a logical engineering and scientific realization. This is also a fantastic realization. Let's say it again. We are the light and the sound that we have always experienced. The intermind must paint that beautifully colorized high-definition conscious light seen onto some conscious vaguely rectangular screen that we perceive as floating in front of our faces. The intermind must also create that surround sound conscious sound scene that seems to be all around us. But the intermind that does all that is also part of what we are. Maybe the physical mind and the whole physical body are just one component of what we are. Maybe our intermind and conscious mind components are really the larger part and the most important aspect of what we are. Our physical differences become irrelevant because we are all made out of the same conscious stuff in conscious space. Note that the experience of light and sound is emphasized in these arguments, but all the conscious experiences, taste, smell, touch, love, hate, pleasure, pain, etc., are experienced in the conscious mind, not in the physical mind. There will be neural correlates in the physical mind, but the eventual experience is in the conscious mind. Similar to the light and the sound, we can say that we also are the taste, smell, and touch experiences. These experiences are part of what we are. Wise guys will notice that this means we are the smell experience of our own farts. This is not as glamorous as being the light, but it is the reality. This logically brings us to the thought that everything we know and experience has always been completely in conscious space, and not in physical space. Our conscious existence is merely connected to physical space and to our physical bodies. We can now understand that our physical bodies are not where our conscious existences are located. As conscious entities, we live in conscious space. Surprisingly, we discover that we are not just dust in the wind after all. Saying that we are the conscious light immediately makes you think about Jesus saying that he was the light of the world. You should not confuse this religious proposition with what the intermind model is saying. Any mainstream interpretation of the Jesus light of the world statement will tell you that the light simply means the truth. The Gnostic Gospels, however, seem to say that the light is some kind of unspecified inner spiritual light. They appear to be experiencing some extra kind of light beyond the conscious light of normal seeing. What light could that be? Nobody knows, but it does sound like it could be related to the conscious light as described on this website. Also, I do not believe Jesus or the Gnostics have ever said that they are the sound of the world. They only seem to talk about light. All I can say is that the intermind model specifies that we are literally the conscious light and conscious sound that our conscious minds experience. The conscious light, the conscious sound, and the conscious mind are conscious things in conscious space. We are conscious things in conscious space, and we are connected to unconscious things in physical space. We know the physical body and physical mind disappear, But since the conscious mind seems like it is something outside of physical space, the logical deduction that this conscious aspect of our being might survive after death is a tantalizing possibility. This might sound like an old proposition from religion, but the conscious mind is not anything like the classic religious soul concept. The conscious mind is not some translucent version of your physical body, but rather it is something different than your physical body. We do not know what pure conscious existence will be like when the conscious mind is detached from the physical mind. As a final thought, what if the collection of possible conscious experiences that we have is limited to what the physical body can access? Maybe there are an unlimited variety of other types of conscious experiences that exist in conscious space that we cannot even imagine right now. Maybe after we detach from the physical body, we will be able to tap into this unlimited resource of new conscious experiences.